So, sorry for not making a videos today. Maybe I'll do two today. So this is one that I've sort of been looking forward to, making, possibly building up to, I'd say. Right, so the 4 steps to finding happiness. Bit like a ladder. Got to do one, then the other, then the other. And in fact, each step will just make you happier, and then you just kind of got to this. When you've got to that final step, you're kind of settled and at peace, as it were. Right. So, all the videos I make are based on teachings of Islam, and kind of feel like I've got to, before I even start the 4 steps, there are so many things to explain, and some people might think, why Islam? Why is this kind of separatism? Like I've got the truth and you don't, sort of thing. In fact, Islam doesn't really look at things like that. First of all, Islam teaches that all the other faiths originally were true. Buddhism to Christianity to Judaism to Hinduism, all these different faiths were true. They just aren't what they used to be anymore. So if people change them, then that's not God's fault anyway. Right, so that kind of explains that a little bit, and let's just get on with the 4 steps. Right. So the Prophet of Islam once said, and I'll explain it in a bit of detail because he uses a little bit of kind of religious Islamic terminology. So he said that you'll not find paradise, and that means paradise in this world. I'll explain that in a minute. And the next. You will not find paradise unless you believe, and you will not believe unless you love each other, and you will not love each other unless you offer each other the salam. And the salam means so the light's the right way. Sorry. And the salam means basically when Muslims meet each other, they shake hands, and they say salam means peace, actually. So they basically say assalamu alaikum, which just means peace be upon you, or just say peace, basically, in summary. So, how is that amazing stuff? Well, actually, it's based on a lot of psychological things that are being discovered now. So let's begin. So some people might not want to believe. Okay, believe as in believe in God, have hope. There's different meanings to believe, but believe basically means believe in Islam. Okay, so people don't really want to believe in Islam, that's fine. Don't even go there, don't worry. Okay, don't even worry about that stage. You'll come to it automatically. So you don't have to believe me that you'll come to it automatically. Why don't you try the first stage, which isn't an unreasonable thing to ask, and that is to shake hands with people. Just make it a habit, an active habit, to start shaking hands with people. And I've talked about this actually before a little bit, and it's been shown psychologically. There's a video, and but you know me, I'm really lazy with references. Maybe search it out on the internet. Okay, so but even if you can't find the reference, think about it. People like contact. Okay. You're considered a bit cold if you always keep your distance from other people, and you know that these kind of so-called third world countries, they're a bit closer to each other, aren't they? They're not shy about hugging each other, and they don't need so much personal space, as they call it. So shaking hands, great. And then there's this saying peace. That might be a bit strange if you're not a Muslim, saying peace, but You could say it jokingly, and sort of in a joking style, if you really want to test this experiment and see what effect it has on you and and eventually on other people, but we're focusing on you. So shaking hands is the first step on your pathway or path to happiness. Then once you start doing that, and maybe possibly you could say some words along the lines of peace, possibly, if you're a bit shy, because once it's part of your norm to say assalamu alaikum or peace, that's really easy if you're a Muslim. But if you're not a Muslim and you just start saying peace to other people, especially if you're like I don't know, if you don't, you're not seen as a hippie or something, yeah? Or if you're in a very standard sort of 9 to 5 job where everybody's kind of very formal with each other or something, I don't know. So it might be a bit weird for you to say peace, I don't know. Maybe you can find some alternative ways to say something along that has the same sort of meaning. So, hope you have a nice day, where your intention in your head is to say peace, basically. Peace, by the way, when Muslims say peace to each other, it means 3 different things. It means hope you have peace with other people, peace with yourself, and peace with God. So but the main focus is that you will have peace from me, at least. Okay. So that's when Muslims shake hands and they say peace or assalam or salamu alaikum. That's what it means, and in fact Jews do that as well. They say shalom. And you might have heard of that. That shalom is actually short for assalamu alaikum. So it's not a new thing. Okay, it's not a new device by God to help you out, help this human race out from causing trouble for itself. So anyway, that is the first stage, and when you start doing that, hopefully you will begin to love other people, all sorts of strangers. Not the falling in love type, but I think I've talked about that. That's not real love anyway, that's more like lust. Just chemical love, I call it. So, yeah, and when you start loving each other, what happens? What's the significance of love, which takes you on to the next stage of belief? Okay, and at this moment in time, just part of my explanation, I'd like you to accept belief as meaning having hope. Yeah, hope for a better world. Okay, that's part of having belief. Okay, and it's not just made up, because the Prophet of Islam said believers are positive, so having hope and being positive, same sort of thing. Right, so how does love, so you started shaking hands, whatever, and that's got you to love, okay, and love is a nice thing generally, but I suppose you're thinking straight away, how does love get you to the next stage? Okay, and actually, what's the significance of love? So, the great thing about love, it does all sorts of cool things to your mind. Actually, makes you a really positive person, a more creative person, more open-minded person, and then you start absorbing loads of happiness basically from around you, loads of reason to be happy. Okay, the opposite of love is hate, and hate is when you start closing up and then you start becoming depressed. Okay, you can get depressed if you're in love. That's a different kind of love, and it's not real love, and that's why it hasn't got the same positive effects of real love, which is the kind of thing where you're not expecting anything back from other people. You just love them just because they are. Yeah, you treat them as your brother and sister. Okay, which is going to start naturally happen when you start shaking hands. Tiny disclaimer, as it were. Don't. When you're shaking hands, it means shaking hands with people of the same sex. So if you're a man, shake hands with other men. If you're a woman, shake hands with other women, but not like men with women, sort of thing. maybe tiny explanation is necessary here. So the idea in Islam about segregation is not because one is better, men are better than women or vice versa. It's just because, as one of my cousins tried to explain once, Islam tries to, just like an electric wire, you tend to have plastic around it, so you don't get an electric shock. So Islam sort of insulates you or protects you from dangerous things, and when men and women get too close too quickly, it kind of doesn't have the best effects, and you find that in society today in lots and lots of ways. If you don't understand it, maybe I'll make another video. I will make another video. Many things to explain. But anyway, so just between men and men, women and women, shaking hands business. Okay. Right, so yeah, so love has this amazing effect. So you really want to get to the stage where you just start loving each other, because then you kind of absorb kind of nature, and you look around and it's all good, yeah? And then when you're absorbing all the good stuff around you, all these positive vibes from other people, and you want better things for other people, and when you want better things for other people, you start looking for solutions, and your mind is open to all sorts of truths. That's when you're ready to believe, and well, that's when you're already kind of becoming hopeful, like I was saying, and then you're ready to start believing in God. Okay, now that doesn't mean, because there's all sorts of things in Western society, and quite fairly, people have got this idea that if you believe in God, you're stupid, or you just want to believe in something, and in a way that's true. Okay, there are lots of people who just believe in God because they just want to believe in something, okay, or just be part of something, okay. And in some ways, I like atheists for being atheists, because they don't want to just accept stuff. That's cool, okay. I'm not expecting there is a God. Just because those people are doing the wrong thing doesn't mean there is no God. For example, imagine people there were imagine atheists didn't believe in water. Okay, just because people who did believe in water were stupid does not mean water does not exist. That will make you stupid just for making a weird inference. That sort of inference. It kind of makes sense that if somebody who's stupid believes in something, you shouldn't believe in it, but that's not a very definite inference that you should really make. So, God exists, whether or not people who normally believe in God are stupid or not. Okay, so anyway, so this is my claim, I suppose, because this is maybe a long way off up the ladder. And then once, but so you might think, who cares if I really believe in Islam or something? Because when you believe in Islam and believe in God, the real God of Islam, and originally of all other religions, like I was explaining before, then you start really sucking up all sorts of truth. Okay, it's important to, for one reason why it's important to, in principle, why it's important to believe in God, okay, is because God is an ultimate truth from which so many other truths come from. Okay, that's kind of helpful. But once you ignore a truth, a very deep truth like God exists, if you ignore that and deny it, then you'll start denying other truths. Okay, just because it's like once you become a liar, you start lying in all sorts of ways. So that's the kind of basic principle. But also another video I need to make is on the purpose of your life and all that kind of stuff. If there is a God, and there is, okay, and who created you, only that God really knows what you're designed for. you're just the creation, so you don't really know yourself, right? I mean, we're constantly finding out more and more about science and how we work and why we work, but that's a long journey, and you don't really know who you are and what you're for and what you're designed for. What's your ultimate? What you best designed for? Yeah, are you best designed just for making money? Okay, no. We're slowly getting to this stage where we're realizing we've made money and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't really make you all that happy. There's something missing, and so God has already worked this out for you because he designed you in a specific way. In fact, you're a spiritual being, so that's why you need to believe. And once you've got all of that, once you believe and you've sucked up all the truth, you will be at peace, you will have paradise in this world and the next. And for those Muslims who are saying, how can you say paradise means paradise in this world as well? Well, the Quran teaches that if you those who have paradise will have paradise, or gardens are the words in the Quran, used in the Quran. They'll have gardens in this world and in the next. So it's a way of saying that a test to see if you will get into heaven is to see if you find heaven in this world first. Okay, so if you don't find heaven in this world, you won't find it in the next. Okay, and that kind of explains why paradise, when the Prophet of Islam was talking about you will gain paradise, it automatically means you'll gain paradise in this world as well. Okay, so I think I'll end there. Possibly make another video shortly when I can think of something. Alright, thank you for watching. Please, you can ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. Send me questions on my YouTube account, or go to whyiloveislam.org and go to the contact page. Send me questions through there. The emails only go to me anyway. And also now I have started the weekly show on Saturdays, 6 to 7 p.m. London time. That's British summer time at the moment. The 5 to 6 p.m. GMT. Where you can go to watch the program live and ask questions live just by putting your comments next to the live video on YouTube, and I'll look at them and we'll try to answer them. Yeah, depending on how many questions there are and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for watching. I know what I know because I am the followers of Promised Messiah. Find out more at whyiloveislam.org.